What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome back to another video, and again, it's more trade rumors because it's a pretty exciting time to be a Jets fan with how good they've been, and today it's all about Adam Henrique. The Jets have been linked to Adam Henrique along with a bunch of other teams that are really looking to chase for a cup this year. Now these aren't 100% concrete or nothing like that. It's just who would make sense to acquire a guy like this, and you look at the season that Adam Henrique's having, the 29 points, 15 goals. His advanced stats are pretty damn good. A very good veteran center that has had a history of good winning teams. And look at the pace he's on for, career high 52 points potentially. That is crazy to think about for a guy at this point in his age. And what this reminds me of is a guy kind of like Stastny. Now, Adam Henrique, his name's definitely getting a lot more traction as of late, but at the end of the day, what he brings to this team, that type of second line role, that play style, very similar to Paul Stastny. Now, you're never going to find another Paul Stastny. I'm going to say that very early on in this video. I'm not trying to compare Adam Henrique and try to find the next Paul Stastny. I'm trying to find a guy that can fit the role that Paul Stastny did during that cup, that Western Conference final team back in 2017-18 for the Jets, because that's what they need to find right now. Like, I hate to say it, because I wish he was still here, but Brian Little, in my opinion, is a guy that the Jets desperately would have be getting value from right now, and I'd definitely be appreciating if they still had him and he was still okay in this league, and obviously not having to retire early and then the whole ordeal with that. So it sucks, but that's the case. But they need to find a guy just like that, and Adam Henrique, he plays that veteran style two-way center that can score goals, who's responsible. He's got winning pedigree. He's been on teams before that have went deep in the playoffs. He's hungry at this point in his career as well to get back out there and try to compete. The Ducks have not been very good the last few years, so obviously he's looking probably for a new opportunity, and I think that it would make sense. Sean Monahan right now looks like he could fetch 2 first-round picks. Elias Lindholm, maybe a first and a second. Adam Henrique, I think, because of where the Ducks are right now in their prospects and how, they're kind of teetering towards being a better team. Like, they're in that transition period, and they're getting very close to it. And I think they're definitely looking for more NHL impact-ready guys that you could throw into a role and see if they can really turn into anything. And the Jets have a lot of guys like that, and they definitely have the draft capital to back it up. And I think that Adam Henrique, when it comes down to it, could really be a good fit for this team because he can drop up and down the lineup just like all the other centers on this team, like Domestikov. And he's got the scoring pedigree this year. He's got that, so maybe he could find some a hot touch out there. And again, it probably wouldn't be as expensive, as what it's looking like Sean Monahan's going to cost. Let's look at Logan Stanley, the obvious choice right now. Now, is he a very good elite defenseman? Hell no. There's a reason why he's only played 7 games this year. He asked for a trade out of Winnipeg. The Jets really don't have a spot for him right now with the way that their defense is playing. Unfortunately, that goes for a couple other guys we're going to be talking about here. But at the end of the day, these guys are trade assets, and I'm not going to say this is Logan Stanley as a centerpiece, but I definitely think that going to this trade deadline, any trade the Jets make trying to bring an impact player in, Logan Stanley will probably be a throw-in as a part of. So Logan Stanley definitely will be linked to some trade, in my opinion. I just think it makes too much sense. The guy's asked for a trade. The Jets haven't used him. He's a young, big-ass defenseman that a lot of coaches out there would like to use in some situations, so it would make sense for the Jets to throw him into some trade situation here. And the other guy, I hate saying it, Jets fans, but it's Ville Heinola. In another timeline, another dimension, he makes this team, and he is, pushed out Schmidt and having a great season. But because of that injury he suffered in preseason and the way the Jets defense is playing right now, and even with the fact that Morrissey, is still kind of day-to-day, they're not even resting him and calling Ville Heinola up, I don't know when he gets a look. And he's just been passed over so many times at this point. He's done everything you need to at the AHL level, and he has value, I still think. Coming off this injury, he's played very well down there with the Moose. He's got the 3 points in 5 games so far coming back from the injury. And then the other guy, too, has been, a guy that has not played again this year outside of a couple games is Declan Chisholm. He's just been sitting on the bench. A guy that could be, he can't benefit anymore from the AHL. Like, neither can Ville Heinola at this point. He's just down there trying to get healthy. So, at the end of the day, I don't know what happens with these guys. And they're just sitting there. Good, young, promising defensemen. Now, do they move on from Schmidt? I don't know, because you look at how important Schmidt has become to the culture of that room. And you just don't trade guys and take guys out of the roster that are having that type of an impact, especially with how bonus coaches. And the Jets have the first-round draft picks, they have second-round draft picks, the third-round draft picks to get this type of trade done. I definitely could see a package where you get some defensemen, one of these guys potentially going back as one of the more centerpieces in for a Henrique deal, and then maybe a second-round pick and something like that. Like, obviously I'm probably undervaluing the situation, but you look at the Jets right now, that game against the Leafs, obviously they're going to play them again in the rubber match tonight, but they haven't been playing that good because the offense is so dry without Scheifele, without Velarde, and now obviously without Morrissey after blocking that shot, he's, game time decisions. So at the end of the day, the Jets need to go out there and acquire some scoring. They need a guy like Henrique that can play the fit that this team has, a defensive style, and can score goals. So I think he's kind of the perfect fit. They have the draft capital to do it. Anaheim is one of those teams right now that's looking to acquire NHL-ready prospects, not really long-term, 3 years down the line type guys. So I think Cheveldayoff, this makes sense. I think you look at Henrique. I think he might be a bit more affordable than what Monahan was going to get you coming from Montreal. So at the end of the day, whatever, you get the best player for the best price. Do not overpay for Sean Monahan. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, peace, love, and positivity. As always, go Jets, go. And I will see you guys in the next one. It'll all be over.